Well, it's that time once of the week once again, ladies and gentlemen, where we get ourselves hyped up for the Formula SimRacing World Championship once again. And what better way to do that than talking to the people all amongst it, watching it, racing in it, managing it, the whole lot we have on the pre-show here on SimNews.TV. Josh Ranson here once again to talk you through the action before the World Championship race from Italy today. And what a race it's set to be. We're going to Monza, the Festival of Speed itself, really one of the fastest tracks on the calendar. And while drivers love it, teams love it, and you'd have to be mad not to love it. It really is one of the classics of Grand Prix racing, and the World Championship now visits Monza in 2017 to have a crack at it themselves. So, in case you missed the last race out at Hungary, where were you? I don't know what you'd want to miss that for, but if you did miss the last race at Hungary, you missed an absolute corker. It was Jernej Simičić who won it for Go Speed Racing Team from Martin Gosby, from Mo Patel in the top three. Strange, perhaps, that Patel didn't win, but really was a close run end between Gosby and Patel there. So, coming into this round, the championship ramifications are quite interesting indeed. As well, let's take a look at our drivers' championship standings right now then, shall we? So, coming out of the round at Hungary, we have Mohamed Patel leading the Drivers' Championship on 198 points. And Jernej Simičić is a straight 50 behind. So, the Serbian, still not out of his Drivers' Championship race yet, could still very much come out of this as the winner. But I think he's going to need quite a few more wins if he's going to do that. Martin Gosby in third place as well, just 14 points behind Simičić, followed by Daniel Kiss in fourth place. And Michi Hoyer rounding out the top five of the Drivers' Championships on 89 points. Then it's Michele D'Alessandro on 53 in sixth place, followed by Eros Misciuli on 49 in seventh. Same amount of points as Martin Stefanko, but better results so far this year for the Italian puts him in seventh and Stefanko in eighth. Lars Brugman is in ninth place in the championship on 30 points, and rounding out the field, Dan Brewer on 27 points. Rounds the top 10 out in the Drivers' Championship. So an Invictus in the top 10 then, exactly where they want to be. Very close run near the top. And this could be very interesting to see how this goes. And, well, you see the 2 and 3 battle, Simičić and Gosby, could be interesting indeed. And apparently, I've just been told that Jernej Simičić is not Serbian. Apologies for that. I thought he was. But that is a bit of a mistake on my part. But yeah, either way, wherever he's from, he's in the championship fight. And that's what's important for Jernej Simičić. And, well, look at the closest down from 6 to 10 as well. D'Alessandro, Stefanko, Misciuli, Brugman, Brewer. Very close run stuff indeed. So those will be all aiming to try and catch up to Michi Hoyer and crack the top 5 too. Teams-wise, though, it's a little bit less close because we go to the teams and we find that Musto Racing are poles apart from everybody else. They are really running away with this team's championship. Not quite, they can technically win at this race, but they're going to really rely on flag-for-flag Brame GP not getting that great results. And given how good Gosby's been this season and how good Florian Beck has been recently as well, that is going to be a difficult one. But anyway, Musto Racing on 319 points. Well ahead of Flagtafan Brame GP on 178 from Go Speed Racing Team on 165. Then it's Avid Chronic Racing on 146 points from Thrustmaster Twister Racing on 102. Then quite a few points back there. Stormcharge Vaudeville Racing in 6th place and Netrex Grand Prix in 7th, followed by Go Speed Engineering in 8th. Invictus Motorsports 6 points down on 31 in 9th. And then VB Madcape, not part of the championship anymore because they've loaned their license off. They are still 10th in the championship though, just ahead of Born to Win, who are in 11th place. And Drillers and Motorsport, the new kids on the block, made the debut last race, and they are still without points in this championship, but they'll hope to break that duck here in Italy. So, very interesting times ahead here at Italy, obviously. We got Monza. This could be an absolute cracker of a race here. And, well, I love him. I love Monza myself. It's a brilliant track. It's a fantastic place to be. Really is such a fast track, and well, it's a driver's track really. You've got your overtaking opportunities, but you've got to make use of them. Of course, this is round 12 of the championship as well, so just 125 points left in the championship. And well, if by some chance Jernej Simičić is going to win this championship, you'd think he needs to win all 5 of these remaining races. Otherwise, it's going to be Patel's by the look of it. I mean, 50 points is a serious gap to have. But Monza, really a good track, and well, maybe Jernej Simičić will pull out his very best here. I mean, he's had wins so far this season at Canada, at Spa and Hungary, and Spa is a fast track as well, so maybe it's his sort of thing. But of course, every other race has been won. Well, I say every other race. There's been 6 races this season won by Patel. Martin Gosby won as well, as is Daniel Kiss. So, you know, it's going to be difficult to shake Patel's grasp on the championship given how well he started, but it could be done. It could be done. So, of course, we're looking at this race going in, and while we've had a fantastic season, this is just going to be another great race in it, I'm sure. And we're looking at Chris Raby at the moment, Argo Racing driver, and yeah, Raby, of course, championship-wise, I don't think is up there exactly. Raby, yeah, in fact, yet to score a point this season, so maybe he can break that duck again today, Chris Raby, and well, he's topping the timesheets at the moment, so he's probably feeling very confident going into this race. And, well, maybe points could be on the horizon for him. Of course, Monza, you know, it can be the great equaliser because of how fast the track it is. You know, there's not as many corners to worry about. That, you know, there are corners that are going to affect you if you don't get them right, of course. But it really opens the field up because, you know, there's less to worry about. It's more about straight line speed. And, well, that can really lead to good into racing. And, well, I think we could get a couple of guests on as well to tell how brilliant Monza is. Don't just take it from me. We'll hear it from other people as well. And, well, we're joined, actually. We're going to be joined very briefly by Ken Donaldson here. I think he's going to join us here and have a chat with us as well. But we're just trying to get Joey Vrolik on as well, the team manager of Drillers Motorsports. And, yep. We're going to get Joey here and see what he has to say about things and maybe have a bit of a look at their performance. So welcome, Joey Vrolik, to the chat here. Great to have you along with us.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Great, thanks, Joey. And, well, I'm sure you as a team manager are looking forward to this race as well. Of course, Drillers Motorsport, new kids on the block. Of course, you didn't score any points last time out, but hopefully hoping to change that this race.
Yeah, well, we didn't have really last race left with Harley. He stopped the car in the pits and Henrik at some moments. But yeah, this race is looking a bit promising for us. We're looking to score our first point.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Monza, as we've just said, can be the great equaliser in that sense because it's less about cornering speed and more about straight line speed. So it is a bit more of an equaliser, yeah. And all these cars are called spec cars. Nobody has any difference in performance. So it's all about who can use the track the best.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. Monza is like the most equal track for driver-wise.
Yeah, really, you know, it levels the field out, as we're seeing with Chris Raby being in the current P1 in the practice standings, and Jernej Simičić is just 0.04 of a second behind. The team of Valkyarvi, 0.09 of a second behind Simičić, so it's really close at the top. Really is quite close to the top of this standings at the moment. And well, Harley Hamnet, we speak of Drillers drivers. Harley Hamnet 7th in the practice at the moment, of course. So, you know, as well as that, he's fast as lap in this practice. Is only half a second down on Raby's. So, as you rightly say, Joey, this could be quite equal.
Yeah, who knows? We can put a little bit of a surprise for the people here.
Yeah, maybe a bit of size and maybe a win on the horizon.
Well, not really a win, but we're looking for some good points, yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, you know, it is quite an optimistic thing to think a win might happen, but still, you know, it's not within the realms of impossibilities. Mitchy Hoyer has actually just displaced Hamnet in the timesheets, doing a 1:22.5, of course, the avid chronic racing driver, trying to qualify more recently for McLaren's world's fastest gamer, and I think he did in the end, but didn't quite win the final. But obviously, Mitchy, great driver, talked to us in, I feel, the very first episode of the pre-show as well, so someone we know very well, and, well, let's hope for a good result today for everybody, not just him as well. But yeah, as a team manager, Joey, how are you feeling going into this race, especially as the manager of such a new team? Like, you know, are you nervous as a manager going into this race? You know, because the World Championship is a big series. You know, it's pretty much one of the premier open wheel series in sim racing. So, you know, being invited up to compete in the World Championship, it comes with a great responsibility, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, to start off first, I think I'm more nervous than my drivers. Like, especially 2 weeks ago for our debut, I was a little bit shaken before the race start, but I'm looking forward to it. World Championship, obviously from an whole nother level from pro. Different drivers, better drivers. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the likes of Mo Patel, Jernej Simičić, team of Valkyarvi in here, some of the best drivers in the business, so to speak, and really is top competition in the World Championship. You can't get that much better than this. It's great, isn't it? It's just the standard we have in FSR.
Yeah, I always saw FSR World Championship as the best sim racing league. Well, obviously these days you got iRacing and other leagues like GP3 WC also there, but still FSR is still really good.
Yeah, still a very well-established league, and one of the more famous names, of course. We've had drivers like Bono Heiss as well, Morgan Morand, and some of the people who are. I mean, Bono's obviously now got to qualify in the finals of the McLaren's World Class Games, so it goes to show where the best can end up. As I believe we've just been joined by, oh no we haven't, sorry, that was just a camera Argo Teder. I thought it was somebody else, but just his microphone going a bit there. But we have now been joined actually by Cian Donaldson as well, who joins us in the broadcast. Welcome to you, Cian, as well, and well, maybe from a spectator's point of view as well, because obviously, you know, this isn't just about the teams of drivers, it's about the people who watch Formula SimRacing as well. And from a spectator's point of view, Cian, this is looking to be a very interesting race.
Yeah, it seems to be quite interesting today. Like, I've seen the pro race and the ace race earlier today and yesterday. That looked quite promising, so I'm looking forward for today.
Yeah, of course, the Pro and Ace Series is the same spec of car as the World Championship, just different divisions. So they're getting the practice that they need to move up the divisions as well. And, well, Joey, that, as in terms of driver searching, makes it a lot easier because everyone's driving the same cars. If you find people who are good, then you know that, you know, they could be World Championship material one day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, as well as that, we've actually just been joined. It's getting a bit crowded here because we found a Risto cabin in all this. Of course, Storm Charge Vaudeville racing driver. Welcome to you as well, Risto. And well, I'm sure you're excited for sorry, Monza. God, I'm getting my Italian tracks confused now.
Hello, yes, I am.
Yeah, it's a very, very fast track, of course. Slightly different to the others in that sense because, you know, you can really hit the top speed of the car here.
Yep, the car handles quite differently with less downforce. Maybe it will help me. It's middle bit more similar to Super League, maybe. Otherwise, with this car, high downforce, you can really push the hell out of it. But here, maybe you need to be more careful. But yeah, it's different. It's interesting. Should be very close.
Of course, when you got less downforce to play with, it means that, you know, the chance of errors is going to be more likely. Like, you know, you come into a race, if you're running, like, say, as an example, if you're running a medium downforce setup, you're at least going to have the confidence that the car's going to turn the high-speed corners. Whereas if you don't have as much downforce, you're going to have to be a lot more careful because there won't be as much grip and you're more likely to overheat the tyres then. So you could argue tyre preservation is actually harder here than it would be at some other tracks.
Yeah, well, obviously you get used to it and you drive slower, but yeah, there are some corners, especially the slow chicane exits, where you need to watch the rears. If you overheat them, then the pressures won't go down and you are stuck with overheating and sliding rear tires. So yeah, it is going to be hard, but as usual, you just have to focus and race hard, and other than that, it's quite similar to every other race.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are obviously individual challenges of Monza, and it's a very, very interesting circuit in its own right. It's held races for so long, and of course, a lot of people remember the old oval days when it had that massive banked oval. Of course, none of that today, but it still retains its character, Joey, doesn't it? As a high-speed thrill track. You know, it's really one of those tracks where you're going to be going the fastest that you possibly can.
Yeah,
yes.
Wings are the lowest of the season and stuff. Engine mode is the highest. Overtaking is most likely this track will have most overtakes from I predict that.
Yeah, I mean, with the slipstream and all that, that's easy to obviously wager that you're gonna have a lot of overtakes. And well, from a spectator's point of view, Cian, you know, Monza, it arguably is an overtaking track by that logic.
Yeah, Monza's one of the fast pace tracks of the calendar this year, and obviously that should bring along with it some interesting overtaking.
Yeah, and of course, you know, we can't forget as well that maybe next time around we'll have a different version of the track because there's all those plans to remodel it as well, to take out the first chicane, the Variante Redifilio. You know, that's a massive breaking point, but there's plans to take that out and bypass Curva Grande in real life. So, you know, it could be very different come next year, couldn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to keep that chicane in turn one just for the sake of, well, my personal opinion, I guess.
Well, it's just, you know, as well as that, you know, it's, you know, if that were to happen, though, we'd have an even longer front straight. You'd get rid of that, and you'd just be throwing yourself into the first turns at massive speed. And, well, maybe we'll have that next year in Formula Sim Racing. Maybe we won't. But either way, Monza remains a great track nonetheless, and I'm sure we're going to have some fantastic racing here as well. The time's really starting to come in from the drivers now. Mo Patel has gone and set his time as well. He's doing a 1:22 at the moment, but Jernej Simičić a whole 2 tenths ahead. And Martin Gosby, as we speak, has just jumped Patel by about 500ths of a second. So as we keep saying, Joey Risto, Mo Patel has really got to work if he wants to, you know, really run away with this title, because Jernej Simičić seems to have found form recently.
Yeah, maybe Jernej is a bit faster, but it all comes together in the race. And Jernej by default has a more aggressive driving style, so he can get the maximum out of this car fast. But in the race, it kind of evens out. Patel gets faster and faster in the race. So, but yeah, it's always possible that Jernej works harder in the second part of the championship, and he can keep putting these wins in if he wants.
Yeah, he's still 50 points ahead. Like, Mohammed is still 50 points ahead of Jernej, so who knows what can happen.
Yeah, a lot of things can still happen, of course. With the point system in FSR, only the top 10 get points. So, theoretically, there is a way for Jernej Simičić to win this championship, and that's to win every single race, and Mo Patel to come third or lower in every race from now on in. And it's arguable that, you know, Simičić was just edge it based on wins then, even if they're tied on points. So, you know, the amount of work that's going to have to be done by Jernej to win it now is quite significant. He is going to have to work really hard if he wants to win this title, of course. As we say, winning every race probably going to be his only option from now to close down the gap at the rate of knots. Of course, you know, if Mo Patel doesn't do a race or doesn't finish a race, he'll close the gap down faster. And, well, maybe that's what he'll be hoping for. But at the same time, if he messes up, then it's possible that Patel could run away with it. So there are lots of variables and potentials going into this race. And, well, as we say, Monza, it's low downforce, so you're going to have your difficulties in keeping the car from overheating the tyres. So, in terms of strategy, Risto, as a driver, what might you be thinking of here?
Actually, we talked about tires wearing out fast, but on this track, it's a bit different to others. The options actually aren't wearing that much. You can choose quite a wide range of how long you want to go with the option. You can pretty much make all the stints equal and just do like 18, 18, 18. And because most of the time you lose on more fuel, not harder tire. So it's possible to do very different strategies. You can go like 2 very short stints on options and very long stint on primes. The primes will last no problem, but then you will have a very, very slow prime stint with all the fuel. Or you can do the opposite. You can make your first option stint very long. You can make it like say 17, 18, 19 laps. You can still make them last, but you just have to guess maybe where you could be with the traffic, because you can play a lot with these tires.
Yeah, you can really play along a bit as well. Speaking of team managers, we have Joey Vrolik from Drillers Motorsport, and we now have Mike Pittman from Stone Charge Vodbull Racing. Great to have you with us as well, Mike. Of course, Vodbull, a team I'm very familiar with from their exploits outside of Formula Sim Racing. But 6th in the championship as it stands, coming into this round on 59 points. It's not been the best season in the world, but you are duking out with the likes of Trista and Netrex.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's technically our debut year with this team. Obviously, we worked with Madcape last year, but you know, ultimately, a bit like Drillers were doing, it's not easy when you come in first off, and we've had a few driver changes. Risto, you know, and Dominic look quite strong here this time. We're quite, you know, fully prepared, so we need a bit of luck as well. I think there's been a few races where we should have scored some more points than we actually did potentially, but you know, still pretty good showing altogether. And Lars at the start of the year had some fantastic drives.
Yeah, I had some great drives, did Lars Brookman, and I'm sure that he's going to be missed in this championship. Of course, Dominic Vizjanko now coming in as well, in his car. So Dominic as well, you know, interesting quantity in him, because he's not someone I've exactly heard of, but he seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, he joined the team and you know, fitted in quite well so far. We had a few issues, technical issues last time out, which cost us, but generally, you know, he's on there with the pace. He does the testing well. He's, you know, been a pleasure to have in the team so far. So we just hope he gets the results that I know he deserves and that Risto deserves as well. And you know, no disrespect, but I hope we beat Drillers, eh?
Well, I'm sure Risto will have his eye on beating Drillers, but I'm sure Drillers will be having their eye on beating Vodbull as well. There's these little rivalries that go on in FSR, you know, but it's all meant with with all meant with fun in the end. Obviously, people want to succeed, and people are extremely serious about the sim racing these days. You know, we've got the world's fastest gamer competition going on, which is proof of that. But you know, ultimately, there is this camaraderie between the teams. You know, everyone wants everyone to finish, Del, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, of course we do. We want to see that this carries on really strongly. You know, and I think this is the one. If anyone has watched the Ace and the Pro, this will be really where you see the serious driving kicking in. I presume Joey will have also watched the other two because he had drivers in that. So, you know, it gives you a good insight potentially into what you might see coming up this evening.
We were saying to Joey before, Mike, you know, the AMA and Ace, the Pro and Ace divisions, obviously AMA uses a different model, but Pro and Ace, they both use the same mod as the World Championship, but just different teams and drivers. So it's a good judge of who could move up the ranks in the future.
Yeah, it is. It's good in that respect. And a lot of the guys work with the top teams anyway, so you sort of like use your development program almost in those cars. So you'll find a lot of the guys that have raced already have worked on the setups that the guys that you'll see racing in the next couple of hours are using. So they fine-tuned it, they tested it, used it as a test event basically the last two races, and yeah, it means you come into this event knowing exactly where you stand really, and that's why most of the time that the World Championship can be that good, because everybody knows this is what I need to do, this is the best strategy, this is how you do it, because they've not only tested it before the races, before the weekend. You've had two races almost where you've had a chance to test it all out.
Yeah, two races to test it out. You know, it's almost like you've got the perfect strategy, but I'm sure as a team manager yourself, Joey, you'll know that even the best laid plans can go wrong sometimes. So, you know, you'll be probably thinking, what are alternative options as well in case something doesn't go to plan?
Like in the middle of the race, or?
Just at any point, you know, if anything doesn't go right, if one of your drivers is involved in an incident, you know, you've got to have plans to compensate for that.
Yeah, well, we obviously at Drillers, we have like reserve drivers. So like if one driver can't race or if one driver doesn't show up, we've got someone replacing them. But yeah, so there's still some problems in the team. I'm not gonna lie about that. We're still a new team. It's not perfect yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, it is difficult to manage a team, of course. I should know. I've tried it before, but you know, especially in something as big as Formula SimRacing, you know, it is a bit of a sharp learning curve, you know, coming into the World Championship. Even if you've had experience in other divisions of FSR, it can be quite a steep learning curve, can't it?
Yeah, I see World Championship as a complete different level from Ace and Pro. I see it like Premier League and then there's Champions League, like that.
Yeah, it's almost like a completely different level, really. And I'm sure even for someone as experienced as team manager as Mike Pittman, it's a challenge coming into the World Championship with his team and making an impact.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you do. I mean, we tried to make an impact, but carrying it on for the whole season and actually staying up there is difficult against some of these top guys. I've just seen Gosby's time as well. That's quite impressive. That's going to be it. I wouldn't want to pick between Gosby, Simon, and Patel potentially this race. I do love Monza for that.
Yeah, it's a great track, it really is. I mean, you've got all the brilliant points in it as well. You've got the fantastic parabolic turn at the end. You've got the Vertifilio chicane as well, which is such a challenge. You've got the Ascari section as well, another challenge. You've got the two Lesmos, got the Varianti della Roggia. There aren't many corners. There's only 11 in total, but the corners there are challenging.
Yeah, particularly going to be that first chicane. That's going to be the fun one.
It is going to be very interesting as well. You know, that first chicane, everyone piling into the first chicane, the Retifilio. It's a prime opportunity for accidents to happen if there were accidents going to happen, but we're hoping there aren't, obviously, because that would be terrible. We hate accidents, but you know, one thing that everyone will be hoping to do is just be the fastest they can possibly be and get the best start, because it can, in a race like this, sometimes be all about the start. If you've got,
when you've got laps that are going to be, you know, hundredths apart, about Michi Hoyer's gone even quicker now, then, you know, if you're talking that, the start is you know, a tenth or two straight away, so it can make all the difference. Yeah,
it can make all the difference, really, and, well, we've got 5 minutes of the show left to go, I believe, so let's just talk with our guests about who they think is going to be the victor coming out of this race. Joey, obviously, I'm sure you'd like one of your drillers drivers to get a surprise win, but who do you think is going to win?
I think Simich's got a good chance today of winning it. I feel like he got the pace for it.
Yeah, generally Simich's not a bad shout at all. Do you think he'll take pole as well?
I'm not sure, but it's going to be quite close, but there's a chance, yeah. He can get it.
always an opportunity. And Mike, again, I'm sure you'd like someone like Risto or Dominic to win, but who do you think?
Well, yeah, obviously I would like them to win, but looking at it, watching all the practices, there's some interesting parts going on with it. 'Cause obviously, with it being quite a high Monza, there's stuff being able to follow your teammate around or something like that in qualifying can make a big difference here. I'd probably punt on Gosby probably on this actually, because he seems to have quite a yo-yo season. He has great races and we've seen him do a win, but he has other races where he's not at the ball game at all, and he seems to be at the ball game here. So he's obviously had the time to test. So that would be my guess this time. He might surprise somebody, but there's so many people that look so close to him. Alessandro's now up there in second as well. It's impressive.
Yeah, a lot of people are very impressive in this early pace. And Kian, I don't know whether you're still with us, but you know, if you've got anyone who you'd like to consider as a potential race winner, then you know, who do you think it would be? Oh wait, no, he says he'll be back in a minute. Well, okay. Well, I just realised that his message is there. But looking at the timesheets myself, it is a very close one to call. I think personally, I think that we could have a Michi Hoyer victory going on here, because, you know, I just have this belief that maybe now he's got world's fastest gamer out of his system. Now he's got everything else out of his system. You know, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. He hasn't qualified, so he can just focus on FSR. And I think a focused Michi Hoyer is going to be something to seriously worry about.
We're just saying that because he's a friend of the show now.
Well, not necessarily, but he has the talent. He's shown that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Anyone in the top 10 realistically at the moment could win this. Never count on people like Daniel Kist. He always goes for alternative strategies. He's got the talent. We haven't even mentioned Patel. I mean, like, my goodness, there's such quality here.
Yeah, he's really run away with it this season as well, Patel. But Monza, the great equaliser, maybe it'll be the one time in his time where he's really going to have to, well, not necessarily the one time, but he's going to have to work hard if he wants to run with this race, when, of course, it's going to be so close between everybody else and him. And, well, we're just going to have to wait and see whether Mo Patel can make another race victory, whether we'll see Jernish Simicic's run of form continue, or maybe whether we'll have a brand new winner in the World Championship in 2017. We'll have to wait and see, but, you know, it's been a great thing to have these brilliant people on this show. Joey Vorlake, Mike Pittman, and Cian Donaldson as well. It's been great to have you along with us for the show today. And, well, I must say this. If you think that this has been a good show, wait till you see the actual World Championship broadcast coming up in a couple of minutes on the Formula SimRacing official channel. And, well, that's not one that you're going to want to miss. It's going to be a brilliant race, I'm sure of it. Monza lent itself to great racing. And when the World Championship comes around and goes around, Monza will be a great race. I'm very sure of it. So, thank you to Mike Pittman and Joey Vorlake and Cian Donaldson for joining me on this broadcast, of course. I've been Joshua Anderson. And, well, maybe next time, maybe we'll have an even better race than this one's going to be about to be. But you don't want to be missing the World Championship race at Italy that's about to come up from the Monza circuit. But from me, I'll be seeing you next time around, just before the next World Championship race, when we talk through all this all over again and chat with the people involved. But from me, Josh Ranson, for now, it's goodbye.